Video, we're going to talk about the Philippine literature during American colonization, 1898 to 1946. But before we start, let's have a quick review about what happened during the American colonization in the Philippines.
After its defeats in the Spanish-American War of 1898, Spain ceded its long-standing colony of the Philippines to the United States in the Treaty of Paris on February 4, 1899. Just 2 days before the U.S. Senate ratified the treaty, fighting broke out between American forces and Filipino nationalists, led by Emilio Aguinaldo, who sought independence rather than a change in colonial rulers. The ensuing Philippine-American War lasted 3 years and resulted in the death of 1,000 combatants from both sides and Filipino civilians. The period of American colonization of the Philippines was 48 years. It began with the cession of the Philippines to the U.S. by Spain in 1898 and lasted until the U.S. recognition of Philippine independence in 1946.
Philippine literary production during the American period in the Philippines was spurred by two significant developments in education and culture. One, the introduction of free public instruction for all children of school age, and two, the use of English as a medium of instruction in all levels of education in public schools. Many Filipinos started writing again, and the nationalism of the people remained undaunted. Filipino writers went into all forms of literature like news reporting, poetry, stories, plays, essay, and novels. Their writing clearly depicted the love of country and their longing for independence. A new group started to write in English, hence Spanish, Tagalog, other dialects, and finally English were the mediums used in literature during these times.
In a way, we can say that we can trace the beginnings of Philippine literature in English with the coming of the Americans. For this purpose, we can divide this period into three time phases, namely, period of reorientation, period of imitation, and period of self-discovery.
The period of reorientation, 1898 to 1910. English as a literary vehicle came with an American occupation in 1898. By 1901, Thomasites arrived and they established a new public school system to teach basic education and to train the Filipino teachers, with English as a medium instruction. By 1908, the University of the Philippines, the forerunner in the use of English in higher education, was founded. The period of imitation, 1910 to 1924. By 1919, the UP College Folio published the literary compositions of the first Filipino writers in English. They were the pioneers in short story writing. They were then groping their way into imitating the American and British models, which resulted in a stilted, artificial, and unnatural style, lacking vitality and spontaneity. Period of self-discovery and growth, 1925 to 1941. By this time, Filipino writers had acquired the mastery of English writing. They now confidently and completely wrote on a lot of subjects, although the old-time favorites in love and youth persisted. They went into all forms of writing like the novel and the drama.
Here are the different forms of literature made during the American period.
News writing publication. The Manila Times, it is the first English-language newspaper in the Philippines. It was established on October 11, 1898, shortly after news that the Treaty of Paris would be signed. It was founded by Thomas Gowan, an Englishman. It was created to serve mainly the Americans who were sent to Manila to fight in the Spanish-American War.
Theater play, zarzuela, It was during the early American period that the zarzuela gained popularity. Most of the zarzuelas, if not all, are directed against the American imperialists. The work of Severino Reyes, Walang Sugat, written in 1989, is a remarkable zarzuela during the period.
Novels. Banaag at Sikat. It is one of the first literary novels written by Lope K. Santos in 1906. He was dubbed as Ama ng Balarilang Tagalog because of his work that paved the way on how to write other Tagalog language novels.
Poetry. Balagtasan. It is a Filipino form of debate done in verse, derived from the name of the famous Tagalog poet, Francisco Balagtas. This art presents a type of literature in which thoughts or reasoning are expressed through spoken poetry.
Jose Corazon de Jesus had the title Hari ng Balagtasan.
Songs. Kundiman. It is a genre of traditional Filipino love songs. Nicanor Abelardo is famous for writing kondimans, including his work Nasaan Ka, Irog, composed in 1923.
Short story. Dead Stars. This was written by Paz Margas Benetes in 1925, in which the two main characters are displayed as allegories to American imperialism in order to portray the slow decay of Philippine heritage.
The separate yet parallel developments of Philippine literature in English and those in Tagalog and other language of the archipelago during the American period only prove that literature and writing, in whatever language and in whatever climate, are able to survive mainly through the active imagination of writers.